While voters in Florida line up to cast their ballot in early voting, those in New York are lining up for fuel rations and blankets. Much of the Big Apple remains paralysed, with tens of thousands still without power, heat or hot water, nearly a week after Superstorm Sandy ripped through. Here's RT's Marina Portnaya with the political fallout from the disaster.
She was a storm the size of Europe and a mighty game changer for America's upcoming U.S. presidential election. Early voting was suspended as Hurricane Sandy ripped through the U.S. East Coast Monday, causing 8.5 million homes and businesses to lose power. President Barack Obama canceled campaign appearances to handle the superstorm.
The election will take care of itself next week. Right now, our number one priority is to make sure that we are saving lives.
National polls show the commander-in-chief garnered excellent marks for his response.
I have a lot of faith in FEMA. I think they'll do okay. That was the president flying overhead. He's my man. Vote for Obama.
Yet the biggest praise of all came from a staunch Romney supporter.
The cooperation from the President of the United States has been outstanding. The President has been all over this, and he deserves great credit. If you think right now I give a damn about presidential politics, then you don't know me.
Looking to also score political points, Republican candidate Mitt Romney rebranded his victory rally in Ohio into a relief event for Sandy victims.
They're not going to stop their political campaigning because so much is at stake. And the fact that the race appears to be very close.
But while the candidates attempt to feature Sandy in their quest for votes, her victims are too busy piecing their lives back together. Below 39th Street has become known as the dark side of Manhattan. Hundreds of thousands have been surviving without electricity, heat, and hot water for more than 5 days. On Staten Island, polling stations are no longer standing. Voting locations are being moved in parts of New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania that are still dark and damaged by the storm. Some experts say the last-minute scrambling will undoubtedly leave countless Americans disenfranchised from democracy on November 6th.
It's destroying the legitimacy of the election, potentially on the East Coast. Early voting is being wiped out in these cities and states. The voting of the elderly on Election Day, the voting of the poor on Election Day, the voting of New Yorkers on Election Day is likely to be diminished through no fault of their own, and that will affect the outcome of the election.
An election now defined by two men and Sandy. Marina Portnaya, RT, New York.
One aspect of the race that's putting many voters off is how hard it is to tell the leading candidates apart. From their relationship with banks to their foreign policy, there are striking similarities between the two. Joseph Kashore from the Socialist Equality Party says the ballot lacks a true choice.
Well, we entered the election with the understanding that the whole process is fundamentally anti-democratic. It's controlled by billions of dollars now in corporate money. The media controlled by corporations, and getting on the ballot is incredibly difficult, requiring millions of dollars to gather the required signatures in every state. It's something of a farce. And even within this framework, of course, the choices that are available, even that within this anti-democratic framework, are basically agree on everything. So even if, of course, if you had a democratic process between these two candidates, the American people don't have really anything to choose from in the end. War, the attack on democratic rights, the bailout of the banks, the attack on social programs, all of this is really agreed to by both Romney and Obama and is accepted as the framework by the media.
Contrary to what many disenchanted Americans believe, there is an alternative to Republican and Democrat duopoly. We've been bringing extensive coverage of the third-party candidates' plans and policies, and it continues on Monday when we host their final debate live from Washington.
Will two parties keep US politics a one-way street? Or will new voices disrupt the power parallel? What if America changes tracks? US Election Up Close Guide, Monday, November 5th on RT.